AWS gives you a free tier and then sends you a $150 bill anyway. Not because you did anything wrong, because free on AWS has three completely different definitions, and most people only know one of them. The AWS free tier is a set of usage limits that let you run certain cloud services without paying. But it's not one program. It's three separate categories bundled under the same name. Think of it like a gym membership with three different access levels. Some areas are free forever, some are free for your first year only, and some are free but only for the first hour you walk in each month. They're all called free. The rules are completely different. That distinction is where most surprise bills are born. This matters the moment you spin up your first AWS account. Whether you're a student building a portfolio project, a developer prototyping something on a weekend, or a team evaluating AWS before committing to it. The scenario that bites people most often: you follow a tutorial, launch an EC2 instance that's a virtual server, and forget about it. Or you stay within the compute limits but accidentally generate outbound data transfer that isn't covered. Or you're 13 months in and your EC2 is still running on what you assumed was free infrastructure. AWS doesn't stop you, it just charges you. Understanding the three tiers before you build is the difference between a learning environment and an unexpected invoice. The three categories are always free, 12 months free, and short-term trials. Always free means exactly what it sounds like. These services have a permanent free usage limit that doesn't expire. AWS Lambda, for example, gives you 1 million free requests per month, every month, indefinitely. DynamoDB, a NoSQL database, gives you 25 gigabytes of storage free, always. These limits don't reset after a year. They're just part of how those services are priced. 12 months free is the category that causes the most confusion. These are free only within your first 12 months of opening an AWS account. The most common one, 750 hours per month of EC2 T2A.micro or T3.micro usage. That sounds like a lot, and it is enough to run one instance continuously for a month. But if you spin up two instances simultaneously, you burn through 750 hours in about 15 days. Month 13 arrives, and every hour is billable. Short-term trials are service-specific free periods, usually 30 to 90 days, that start the first time you activate a service. Amazon Lightsail, which is AWS's simplified virtual server product aimed at beginners, has its own free tier structure that's separate from standard EC2 and often overlooked entirely. And if this is the kind of thing you want to actually understand rather than just work around, Stack Future covers one concept like this every day. The deeper trap is what's excluded. Data transfer out, meaning traffic leaving AWS to the internet, is not fully covered under any free tier category beyond a small monthly threshold. S3 storage requests, elastic IP addresses that aren't attached to a running instance, and certain monitoring features all carry charges that aren't intuitively obvious when you're starting out. Say you're learning AWS and you follow a tutorial that has you launch an EC2 T3 micro instance and attach an elastic IP address, which is a static public-facing IP, so your server has a consistent address. You finish the tutorial, stop the instance to save resources, and move on. What you don't know, AWS charges for elastic IP addresses that are allocated but not attached to a running instance. The rate is small, around half a cent per hour, but it runs continuously. Over a month, that's roughly $360. Over a year, around $43. Not catastrophic, but completely invisible if you don't know to look. The fix: go to the EC2 console, navigate to elastic IPs under Network and Security, and release any address you're not actively using. Or set up a billing alert in AWS budgets. You can configure it to email you the moment charges exceed $1. That single alert would have caught this immediately. AWS free tier isn't one thing, it's three, and they behave completely differently. Always free doesn't expire. 12 months free has a hard cutoff, and plenty of common charges, like data transfer and idle elastic IPs, aren't covered by any of them. Set a billing alert before you build anything. That's the actual lesson here. If you want to go deeper, AWS IAM, how permissions and access control actually work, is the next concept worth understanding before you build anything serious in the cloud. If this saved you a surprise bill, the like button is right there.